Okay, Rams, this first test, or the second test, I guess, didn't go so well. So we're going to walk through each problem, and it may take a little bit. But if you go through every problem with me, you're going to have an opportunity to retest on Friday, okay? We're going to go through and see what the mistakes are today, and then do a little bit of practice work, and then grow from it to be ready for tomorrow, okay? First question. Macy is trying to find a number that is less than negative 1.8. So which of these numbers are less than negative 1.8? Check all that apply. Okay, you may use a number line as a reference, and that's going to be a great help here. Okay, so my negative 1.8 would be there, and my 0 is over here. Okay, negative 1 would be about right here. Now, because it's closer to 0, okay, it mirrors what is on the right side of 0. All right, so if you look at the right side, you would see negative 1 before you saw 1.8. 1.83, that is a positive 1.83, so guess what? It's way over here. So it's not that one, not that one, negative 1/8. A lot of people think that negative 1/8 is this, but no, remember, to get to a fraction to a decimal, it's divide. 1 divided by 8. Okay, 8 does not go into 1, but it goes into 10 one time. 8 times 1 is 8, and I subtract and get a 2. I add a 0 and bring it down. 8 goes into 20. How many times? 2. 8 times 2 is 16, and I subtract and get a 4. I'm going to add that 0 and bring it down here. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 8 times 5 is 40. Okay, so it's 0.125. 1/8 is actually very close to 0. Okay, and that's negative 1/8. Okay, 22 over 11. That's improper. So that means it is somewhere to the left of negative 1. It's greater, or well, if it's positive, it's greater than 1 whole, right? Because it's improper, but it's negative, so it means it's less than negative 1. So 22 divided by 11. Well, 11 goes into 22 2 times. 2 times 11 is 22. Oh, so this number is just negative 2. Where would negative 2 go? Way out there somewhere, right? It'd be negative 1, negative 2. We have to know where these numbers fall between. 1.8 is between 1 and 2. So that one works. Negative 1.5. Okay, so 1/2, right? 1 over 2 is 1 out of 10. That's your strategy here. You could divide, but this one, a great strategy is to just get equivalent fractions. 2 times 5 is 10, so 1 times 5 is 5. 5/10 is 0.5, but there's a 1, right? So negative 1.5. 1.5 is between 1.0 and 1.8. Okay, so that doesn't work. 1.08. Well, if I think about it, 1.80 and 1.08 are not the same thing. 1.08, that's like $1.08 compared to $1.80. $1.08 is really pretty close to just $1, right? So the only answer there is D here. B could have tricked you because it was, but it's not negative, so be careful. Okay, that's number 1. You're going to write down what mistake you made. All right. What quadrant on this point, negative 4, 6, where is it located? So I remember, I start here at 0. My first number is negative, so I'm going to go left. So it means I'm going to go that way. My second number is positive, so that means I go up. So we are somewhere up here in this quadrant, okay? Remember, when I number my quadrants, I go 1, like a 1 is on a clock, and I make a big C, like coordinate plane. So 2, 3, 4. So this is quadrant 2. Okay, next. Explain how to find the value of the absolute value of negative 7.2. Basically, it means explain what the absolute value of negative 7.2 is. Some of you said I just count the spaces or whatever, but I need to know what the answer is. Okay, the rubrics here help you know how we're scoring. So the absolute value of negative 7.2 is just 7.2. It basically means how far is it from 0 on a number line? Well, it's 7.2 spaces. That means it's a little bit over 7 spaces. Okay, now how do you know? How do I know that this is the answer? I would say the answer is 7.2 because negative 7.2 is 7.2 spaces from 0. You could say absolute value measures distance. That's enough explanation for me. That tells me you know what you're doing, that you understand absolute value. Okay, number 4. Mark 8 13/20ths of a pizza for lunch. What decimal represents the part of the pizza that mark 8? I saw a lot of people put 13.20. When have I ever taught you to just put these numbers after decimal? Never, never, never. I don't be nice about those things. You are making up your own silly strategies that mean nothing. What you need to do here, use what I taught you in class. Division. Fraction to decimal is always division. Okay, we're going to write this down. Fraction to decimal equals division. Okay, so 13/20ths, top dog is my strategy. Remember that? So top number goes in the house. My denominator goes outside of here. Does 20 go into 13? No. So I'm going to have zeros up here. But will 20 go into 130? Yes, because 2 goes into 13 6 times, right? So 20 times 6 is 120. I'm going to get a 10. I'm not done. Now I just add my decimal and keep going. I saw some people get to this point, but they didn't know what to do next. Add your decimal and keep going. 20 times 5 is 100. Your answer is 0.65. Some of you still got to this and you still went back and put that. This is your answer, okay? Number 5. Mr. Johns has $45 to buy flowers for his 5 friends. Determine which of these division expressions is incorrect for determining how much money he can spend on each friend. Now, in class, and in our notes, we learned that when you're looking at a division problem, you want total amount to be shared, right? Or total amount divided by groupings. Remember that? We're not solving it. All we're doing is determining the problem. What is it he's sharing? Is he sharing his friends or is he sharing the money between the friends as gifts? He's sharing the money. So my total amount is 45 divided by, and how is he dividing that up? Between 5 friends. So basically, which of these does not say 45 divided by 5? Well, when you read a fraction, you read it from the top down. This one says 45 divided by 5. And some of you put no because it's a fraction. Well, if you did your notes like you're supposed to, you would see that a fraction is just a division problem. This one says 45 divided by 5. This says 45 divided by 5. This one says 5 divided by 45. You have to read these from the inside out. Okay, ooh, this is a long one here. All right, Cindy bought snacks for a meeting after school. The table shows the amount of each type of snack that she bought. So with explaining complete sentences, how you know which one she bought the most of. So I'm going to make them all decimals. This is 2.50. Now, 15/8, top dog. That'll get you your answer, okay? The difference, though, we don't want to get a remainder. We don't want to deal with a mixed number. We're going to keep dividing and make it a decimal, okay? 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16, and that's too big, okay? So I get a 7. I'm not done. I'm not going to make it a mixed number, but instead I'm going to put my decimal and put 0. I want to keep going, okay? Does 8 go into 70? Yes, 8 times. 8 times 8 is 64, and I subtract and get a 6. I can add a 0 and keep going. 8 times 7 is 56, and I get a 4. Add a decimal and keep going. 8 goes into 40 5 times. Now no remainder. So this is 1.875. Okay, 2 and 5/8. So I'm going to leave a 2 in front. Now I'm going to take my 5/8 and make it a decimal. So 5 divided by 8. 8 doesn't go into 5, does it? But it goes into 50. 6 times 8 is 48, right? So 6 times. Get a 2. I'm going to add a 0 and bring it down. 8 goes into 20. 2 times. 8 times 2 is 16, and I get a 4. So now I'm going to add a 0 and bring it down here. 8 times 5 is 40. So this is 2.625. Remember, there was a 2 in front, okay? 7/4. Okay, that's improper. So I'm going to make it a mixed number or a decimal, okay? 7 divided by 4. 4 goes into 7 one time. Make it a 3, so I'm going to add a 0 right down here. 4 times 7 is 28. I get a 2. I can add a 0 and bring it down. 4 times 5 is 20. 1.75. Okay? So now I want to know which one is the largest. Okay, I have 2.50, 1.875, 2.625, or 1.750. Well, I know I can ignore cheese squares and mixed dried fruit because the first number is a 1. So now I'm going to look at 2.500 or 2.625. Which one is greater? Sesame sticks, because it is 2 and 625 thousandths. So my complete sentence. I'm running out of time though, but it's sesame sticks. And how do I know? I make them all decimals. With division. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. All right. At 9 a.m., the temperature outside was -3 degrees. Okay, so here's my 0. At -3 here. By noon, it was -12. George says it's getting warmer. His sister says it's getting colder. Who's correct? Well, if it starts here and it's going that way, it's getting less, so it's getting colder. Okay, and you would tell me that. Okay, I'm hurrying because I don't run out of time on my video, okay? Which is true. The absolute value of 15 is -15. No, absolute value is positive. -13 is less than -17. No, because if there's my 0, 13 is to the right. Absolute value of 6 is less than the absolute value of -9. That's true, because that says 6 is less than 9. That's true. 2.5 is greater than, the absolute value of 2.5 is greater than the absolute value of -2.5? No, they're equal. They're the same distance from 0. Okay, which one's not placed correctly? The paper copy did have a typo, and the 3/5 never made it. But it didn't matter because that wasn't the answer. 1/2 is wrong. Yes, we have negative numbers here, but it's only the negative integers. Integers are like -2, -9, -6. Those numbers that we would see on a number line. This has to go out here. Okay? These are the numbers we would see on our number line. Last one. Which one is 1/3? If this is 0.5, this is 1/2, and here's 0. Each one here is 0.1. Every 2 marks is 1/10. So which one is that? 1/3 is 0.333. That's one that should be memorized. So which one is a little bit over 0.3? It is M. Okay, Rams, make sure you filled out the paper that I left you to do the corrections, and then do the next problems. If you don't have that done with a signature and all your notes caught up, you do not get to do the retest.